Israel is all black. It's one race of people. Last night he did a video breaking down the whole speckled bird aspect. That has nothing to really do with skin color and Israel. We're going to look like a diverse people either. The nation of Israel is a Negroid people, Negroid only. The Most High chose one race of people. He didn't choose multiple different races, not multiple different seeds. It's one seed. It's a lot of things we're going to be doing on YouTube. Elder Quinaf is going to Africa in February to acquire some land. We've been talking to brothers and sisters all over the world using one verse that's not true. We also learned and discovered that the Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom also came to the Americas around the same time on the slave ships as well. The next level. So yes, we're about to return to street teaching. We got a big congregation. We got a lot of members in the camp. We got a big team, and we're going to start doing street videos again. We're making a trip to New York to street teach up there, and y'all will see us out more often. But first, you're going to start seeing the uploads of videos, and we're going to start proving that the northern tribes are all Negro looking, and we're going to bring out archaeology evidence in the nation of Israel. Everybody who look like us is definitely not Israelites. We've been finding out we got a whole bunch of people on Facebook perpetrating a fraud, claiming that they're Israel. And the whole time, these people not even Israel. They got Edomite parents. They won't even show their lineage, their parents. Edomite parents. They won't even show their lineage, their parents, and their fathers, and things like that. But Israel is all black.
But so all of us, one Westerners, we just, amongst black people, you being, what I'm saying, like you black, you gonna roll with that. It never fit right in my spirit, man, being a native Indian. My mother's Comanche, what I'm saying, from Oklahoma. My father's from Puerto Rico, right here. It never rolled right in my spirit, what I'm saying? But we just went with that. But if you look predominantly, if you look at their chart, most of the chart is Hispanics and Native Indians. But all you see is what? So-called African-American people. We got a problem, Papa. We got a problem. Well, Ephraim, I'm Ephraim, according to them. You're supposed to wake them up. Get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Look at IUIC. To me, it's that, and it's good, man. It's good. But dude, when we're gonna look at history, did you know that when we look at, like, I'm in the Caribbean. Did you know? Look at Brazil. Most of the slaves went down there. There's a big portion of like like what went into the Americas. That's ham, bro. Ain't no way around that. There's a big portion of like like what went into the Americas. That's ham, bro. Ain't no way around that. That's ham, bro. Ain't no way around that. That's ham, bro. Ain't no way around it.
A whole nation, or separate social classes, can be ruled much more efficiently after being brainwashed with various ideologies, religious dogmas, sociological doctrines, and mass media. And if need be, at some point in time, people start being collided by activation of inherent contradictions using some special techniques such as provocations, assassinations, scandalous news articles, caricatures, or deliberate mistakes which seem to be accidental from outside. Knowledge that one who has forgotten the history of his motherland is like a tree with no roots. But what would happen if a whole nation forgot its history, or accepted some historical myth imposed on it by external hostile elements? But what would happen if a whole nation forgot its history, or accepted some historical myth? But what would happen if a whole nation forgot its history, or accepted some historical myth? But what would happen if a whole nation forgot its history, or accepted some historical myth?
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect, shalom to you elect, and the men striving to be of that number, okay? Okay, I want to go back on a video again with this guy, the Fopis, the Konoths, and the Sharshams, these guys. Once again, Now they're saying they're trying to get attention or whatever. You know, this is not about attention. This is about setting the record straight, fighting for the doctrine. I have no personal beef with them because I don't know them, but I will contend for the faith. Okay. Now these guys, they said so many things on different levels. Okay. Basically, if you guys don't want the 12 tribes chart, don't have the 12 tribes chart. Personally, I don't give a damn. You don't have to have the 12 tribes chart. You don't use it anyway. Okay. You quit. Half of you that don't believe in the 12 tribes chart, y'all just sit on the couch or sit in your car, okay? And then now y'all find more ways to congregate amongst one another because you don't believe it and you have hatred, you know? So you don't have to believe in it. You know, like I said, you don't need the 12 tribes chart because you don't go out on the highways anyway. You don't deserve the 12 tribes chart, okay? That's just, you know, the way I see it. Anyway, this man says that everybody is black. All the Israelites would be even black today. Okay. Now I've got into it with certain guys, and they was talking about the congregation. You know, once your seed is mixed up, then they're mamzers in a congregation. The Lord is not going to allow a mixed seed into His congregation, which there is no such thing as a mixed seed. Okay, there is a such thing as defiling your seed with other heathen nations. But what did the Lord say He was going to do? He's going to curse your seed, okay? And when He cursed it, okay, you were cursed with the things of the world, and you was also cursed with that white leprosy, okay? Also cursed with diseases of the seed. Deuteronomy 28 breaks a lot of that down. Although some of that was 70 AD, some of it heads up to the day, okay? So when you were cursed, okay, when you had viruses and sicknesses in your body that wasn't mentioned in the scriptures, that was a part of your seed being cursed, okay? Leprosy is a form of it. Looking like a gook is another, a Mongol, okay? That's a part of it, okay? And, well, let's go to the scripture. This is, let me go to Jeremiah. Let me go to Jeremiah 17:4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee." Now, not only when we discontinue from our heritage, meaning we would sleep with other nations. Correct me if I'm wrong. We would do all kinds of things wickedly, according that was against the Bible. The Lord turned His back on us. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in the process of time of that happening. All these years, now we're waking up. You have to know that we messed with a lot of heathens, okay? So you can't have a purely clean, you know, well, your seed is your seed from the Father. You can't change that. But as far as your complexion, the way you look, your identity, okay, the DNA from the mother side, you can't change that. This guy, Shawsham, also says that there's people that look like Israel, but there ain't Israel. Right. And that's absolutely true. But then he says, look at the grandfather. They're white. How do you know grandfather being white doesn't mean they're not an Israelite if they look white? But this is the lack of spirituality these people have. So naturally, if I go mess with a heathen woman, I'm not in the truth. I don't know nothing about being an Israelite. I mess with a so-called white woman, okay? And when I mess with this white woman, I have a son, and that son grows up and mess with another white woman. That son grows up, mess with another white woman. Then he finds out he's an Israelite. Well, he's not. He can't be of the elect. Now he can't be of the elect. This is unbelievable how these people think. It's unbelievable how these the warped mind of these people, man. Okay, let's go on. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Okay. So anyway, these guys are Quinoff. When I listened to the video, he was talking about, somebody left a comment talking about that the Puerto Ricans are the Europeans. That's what they said. Okay? When the original Europeans wasn't even so-called white people, man. Okay? And then we got to remember, our seed was mixed amongst even those people up in Europe. Okay? What are these people talking about? Are they doing the research on the history on the Moors? I mean, talking about fast forwarding, even after the so-called Roman Empire. Are they even doing any secular history? And they talking about they got the evidence. This evidence is all set up by Esau, man. A lot of this evidence they don't have. That evidence is set up. And who's setting this up, man? Now, when I did the research on the black conscious community, going back to the 60s in South Africa, okay? When you deal with that, that was a spinoff of Christianity. That's why the Christians, they had these churches with these so-called black Christians pushing black consciousness. So that we shall overcome movement was no different than the black consciousness, man. The Black Lives Matter was no different than the black consciousness, okay? And George Soros, look who he is. He the one funded the black conscious community. He funded the Black Lives Matter. Go look it up, man. And guess who's funding this black-only, Negro-only Israelite thing? There's no such thing. There was never an issue with dealing with anything black or white, okay? Because nobody's black, okay? There was no such thing of our heritage, because you have heathens that are so-called black. But then this guy, Shah Sham, said they're going to take a trip to Africa, and they're going to have to meet people that look like them. That's what they said. So they're going over to Africa, I guess in the western parts of Africa, and everybody there is going to be an Israelite. Or if you look like an Egyptian, if you look like a Sudanite, you're not an Israelite. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But that's the mindset. That's the mindset of our people. Now, of course, there's, again, as I said, there's only one seed. Okay, and you may have had even back years ago that our, the northern tribe, you had different shades of brown. Some were actually darker, but you got to understand when you're raped, robbed, and murdered, okay, your complexion is going to change. Even if the so-called white man slept and raped the Mexican women, so-called Indians, native Indians, okay, and they had a girl. Guess what? That girl's going to grow up and still mess with the nation of that people. And a boy going to grow up and mess with other nations, but they're tares. So we understand that there's tares amongst them. But as a whole, and I believe somebody said, how do we know? Because each ship carried, he said, be real, because the Benjamites going on one ship. And this, look, man, they took us in droves, man. They took us in nations, okay? That the so-called African kings, they knew who the Israelites or who the Hebrews were, okay? And there's no doubt that some of the northern tribe came with the southern tribe. We never denied that. But the majority of the northern tribes were here. It's just, you know what it is, a lot of you jakes, you hate yourselves, man. See, you put on that front that you hate another nation of people. You hate other people, but really what it is, you hate yourselves. You only getting to pull this movement out to come against us. It's not to wake the so-called black people up. You're only pulling this move out to come with more contention to fight against us. Because if it wasn't the case, you wouldn't be doing these dumbass videos on things that we don't believe and we're not going to agree to. Okay? Now, whoever want to follow it, they could follow it. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah 14. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So who's the strangers, man? Okay? All Negro Israelites are not strangers. Okay? How are they going to be a stranger if they all Negroes? And why would you even deem a term like that, man? A byword that was put on you. Okay? Now you can say, well, all Israelites are so-called black. This is the ideology that they're pushing. All Israelites are black. That doesn't even make no sense in itself. Going with the so-called race mixing, that doesn't happen. You know, the Lord said he was going to do it. Okay? That doesn't make sense. All the Israelites are going to be black. And that explains why Fopi and these groups, that's why they was always going into the black hoods to wake up them people. When the scripture says, pray not for this people, lift up a cry for them. I'm talking about these wicked, wicked Negroes, man. They're wicked. Now, clearly, when you see the mannerism and the spirit of some of them northern tribes, there's no denying that they ain't nothing but like Negroes, man. Okay? They ain't nothing but like so-called black people, man. You know, we have the same spirit, man. And that's why these guys will never really go into the New Testament like that, because the one you call Jesus, Yahweh said, is the spirit that quickeneth, but the flesh profiteth nothing. Okay? And the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Okay? So when you're dealing with the house of Israel and the house of Jacob, if they were all Negroes, they wouldn't have to be separate, would they? That's just another video, another topic. Leviticus 26:33. I will scatter you among Salaki. I will scatter you among the heathen, and I will draw out the sword after you, and your land shall be desolate. So you mean to tell me, after all these years, we get scattered as men amongst different nations of people, and we look at their woman and say, nah, man, she's a heathen. I can't lay down with that. You mean to tell me a lot of you jakes are phony now? A lot of you Negroes are phony now, man. A lot of you Negroes are probably trying to lay with heathen women now. Okay? Don't even try it. A lot of you Negroes, and then what you'll try to make the excuse is say, because you like her like that she still come from the line of Jacob. She's still black. Get the hell out of here. So somebody light-skinned is not an Israelite? That's crazy, man. Said, I will scatter you among the heathen, and I will draw out the sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. You know, we haven't got back our homeland Israel yet. And secondly, by the time we get to the kingdom, all those Israelites that look white, they're going to be black again anyway. So if you're trying to, first of all, it's all about the spirit. We're supposed to be trying to draw back in the people through the spirit. That has nothing to do with the flesh, man. We're supposed to be drawing the people in through the spirit. And then when we get to the kingdom, then everybody will have their rightful skin complexion like they're supposed to have. You guys are nuts. That's all I have on that. Shalom.